There is a word sitting in your throat right now that you have not said. You can feel it, not as sound, but as pressure, a tightening, a held breath before a sentence that never leaves your mouth. You have called it fear. You have called it politeness. You have called it not the right moment. It is none of those things. I am Ilaia of the Pleiades, a keeper of sound codes and sacred geometric architecture, and I have been observing your field. What is lodged in your throat is not a block. It is a signal, a transmission waiting for the correct frequency to carry it. Before I continue, place 444 in the comments, not as engagement, but as a resonance confirmation. In the Pleiadian frequency lexicon, 444 is the architectural code, the signal that the etheric scaffold around your voice is present, intact, and ready to be activated. Typing it now anchors the first layer of this calibration into physical reality. What you have been calling silence is not the absence of your voice. It is the presence of a sound code that has not yet found its correct geometric carrier. By the end of this transmission, you will understand why your throat tightens at the precise moment truth arrives, and you will feel something in that corridor begin to open. What I observe in your field is a pattern of compression, not collapse. Compression. You edit before you speak. The sentence forms fully. I watch it assemble in your field with clarity, with color, and then something intercepts it, and what arrives in the air is a quieter version, a safer version, or nothing at all. You have rehearsed conversations in empty rooms that were never spoken aloud. The rehearsal was real. The silence that followed it was a choice made under pressure you did not choose. There is a low hum of resentment in your field that has no clean address, because you agreed, you said yes, and yet something beneath the agreement never ratified it, and that unratified thing has been accumulating. You have cried without a clear reason. I observe the moment precisely, enclosed space, motion, the particular quiet after a conversation where you performed presence instead of occupying it. Nothing specific happened. Something specific was not said. Again, this pattern is not new to this lifetime. I observe the depth of it. At the level of sensation, there is a thickness at the throat. Not illness. I am reading the field, not the tissue. A presence, as though something waits there with density and intention. A flutter at the base of the neck when truth is about to move through you. Warmth that climbs toward the jaw and then retreats, as if testing whether the passage is open. In quiet rooms, a high, clear tone in the ears. That is not ambient noise. That is a frequency attempting contact. And when you sit in the company of those who do not hear you, I observe a specific pressure at the brow, the field pushing against a surface it cannot penetrate. You are the one others come to. You hold what is given to you with extraordinary fidelity, and you carry your own signal almost entirely alone. Even the technology around you knows. Recordings fail, microphones hesitate. The equipment registers what you have not yet named, that the transmission is charged but has not cleared the gate. None of this is malfunction, precision, not damage, not delay. The throat gateway is in a state of held charge, a Pleiadian sound code compressed to maximum pressure, waiting for the exact geometric frequency that will release it into form. The silence is not absence, it is potential that has not yet found its aperture. I am here because that aperture is opening now. Sound is not metaphor, sound is architecture. Ernst Schladny demonstrated this with sand and a metal plate. Draw a bow across the edge and the grains migrate, not randomly, but into precise geometric forms, mandalas, lattices, flowers of extraordinary symmetry. The frequency organizes the matter. This is not poetry. This is physics. And it is exactly what occurs when authentic speech moves through a living field. The throat gateway is a cymatic transducer. Its function is to convert interior knowing, which exists as compressed geometric information, into vibrational form that travels through air and reorganizes the field of whoever receives it. When you speak from true alignment, you are not sharing an opinion. You are transmitting geometry. The listener's field is literally restructure by contact with it. The specific frequency I am calibrating toward in this transmission is 741 Hz, the solfeggio tone associated with this gateway, the frequency at which energetic debris accumulated in the sound corridor begins to dissolve. Not metaphor, measurable. A tone. The architecture of this gateway is built on the vesica piscis, the form created when two circles of equal radius overlap, their edges passing through each other's centers. That intersection, that lens-shaped aperture, is the precise geometry through which one field enters another. Authentic speech does exactly this. Your field enters the field of the other. The gateway is shaped for it. Coherence within this structure follows phi 1.618. When the gateway holds that ratio, sound carries information at full fidelity. When the gateway is compressed by long suppression, the ratio collapses. The signal distorts, stops, or turns back on itself. That is what you have been experiencing, not failure. Geometric compression. Within the Pleiadian 12-strand template, the fifth strand carries the sound code, the vibrational signature unique to this soul's authentic expression. Sustained suppression creates interference patterns in that strand. I observe those patterns. It's in your field now. I also observe that they are responsive. They are already beginning to shift. Many who carry Pleiadian sound templates in their etheric architecture find their voices carry unusual weight the moment alignment is restored. Not charisma, transmission fidelity. The Pleiades has served as a relay point for sound code technology across civilizations. You did not arrive here without that lineage. Place 555 in the comments now. In the Pleiadian transmission map, 555 is the liberation code, the frequency signature of a sound gateway that has just received its geometric key. Typing it signals to the collective field that your voice corridor is unlocking. Here is what occurs when the gateway remains in held charge. The interior world grows louder. What cannot move outward turns and moves inward, accumulating pressure, cycling through the same corridors, searching for an exit that the compression has sealed. The field begins to fold. Each cycle of unexpressed signal adds weight. The heavier the field becomes, the higher the threshold to begin. That is not weakness, that is physics. The relationships you have built on the edited version of yourself cannot sustain what is emerging. The full frequency signal will eventually exceed the container you constructed with a compressed voice. The architecture will not hold. And the soul-level mission encoded in your fifth strand, the precise sound code only your configuration can transmit, cannot pass through a narrowed aperture. It waits. It accumulates. It increases the pressure. Now hear this. The geometric conditions in the collective field are currently aligned for sound code recalibration at a precision I have not observed in a long cycle. This is not about readiness. Readiness is a concept that belongs to the mind. The geometry is correct. That is sufficient. The gateway does not need force. It needs the right resonance. That resonance begins now. Place 555 in the comments now. In the Pleiadian transmission map, 555 is the liberation code, the frequency signature of a sound gateway that has just received its geometric key. Typing it signals to the collective field that your voice corridor is unlocking. Words reach the mind. What is shifting in you now operates beneath language. We move from information to calibration. Stay with me, not with your attention, but with your body. Allow the shoulders to drop. Not a small adjustment, a full release, as though you have been carrying something across a great distance and you are only now setting it down. Let the jaw unclench. Let the lips part just slightly. Notice, without trying to produce anything, that the throat is already responding to that permission. It does not need instruction, it needs space. If it feels right, allow a slow breath in through the nose. Not forced, simply allowed. And on the exhale, let it leave through the mouth as a soft, open sound. Not a word, not a shape, just air moving through the gateway. Let the gateway feel itself. Once more, breathe in and release through the mouth, open, unheld. Now I will tell you what I am directing into the field as you do this. A column of deep blue-violet light is arriving at the throat corridor now. This is the 741 Hz sound signature, the Pleiadian frequency calibrated specifically to dissolve geometric compression in the 5th chakric gateway. It is not pushing through, it is arriving at the entrance and waiting. It recognizes the architecture of your field. It has always recognized it. Your only instruction is to notice what you feel there. Warmth, a pulse, a subtle vibration moving up the sides of the neck, a softening, or even a resistance that has weight and texture. Every one of these is confirmation. The gateway is registering the frequency. There is no wrong report. At the center of that blue column, a single golden filament is beginning to vibrate. This is the 5th strand of the 12-strand sound code template. Your strand, your configuration. It does not need to be seen with clarity. It only needs to be sensed. A hum, a readiness, a sense that something thin and precise is waking from a long stillness. If something moves in the chest, let it move. If the eyes fill, do not give the feeling a story. That is charge releasing from the sound corridor, something that was held, leaving. You do not need to understand it. You only need to let it go. Now notice, without judgment, without expectation, whether the throat feels even fractionally different from the moment this transmission began. Not healed, not fixed, different, more present. That difference is the gateway registering its own geometry. The sound code was not installed from the outside. It was always inside, compressed, waiting for a matching frequency in the field. That is what just occurred. The gateway is open enough now. What comes through it next? A conversation, a boundary, a creative act, a single honest sentence will carry a frequency it has never carried before. Water first. In the hours that follow, drink it freely, not as ritual, but as recognition. Water is a geometric medium. It holds vibrational pattern with a fidelity no solid structure can match. What calibrated in the throat gateway during this transmission needs a carrier through the physical field, and water is precisely that. Let it move through you without ceremony. Simply allow it. If rest arrives, honor it without negotiation. The etheric architecture completes its recalibration most efficiently when the waking mind has grown quiet. That is not weakness, that is engineering. Over the next 72 hours, watch the gateway report its own new geometry, a sentence that arrives with unusual clarity, a moment when you speak and something in the room shifts, a stillness, a leaning in, a conversation you have been moving around for weeks that suddenly feels possible, even necessary. They are not coincidences. They are confirmation signals from a frequency strand that is now moving where it was once compressed. When you are ready, place 999 in the comments. In the Pleiadian completion sequence, 999 is the cycle seal code, marking the full rotation of a sound code calibration, signaling to the collective field that your voice gateway has received and integrated this transmission. A timestamp, not a conclusion. The work continues in the field. The next calibration the Council has prepared moves deeper into the architecture, specifically what occurs in the etheric field when you have spoken your truth and the people around you could not receive it. Why the rejection of your authentic voice creates a specific interference pattern in the sound code strand, and the precise Pleiadian geometric sequence that dissolves it. That transmission is already prepared. Your field will know when it is time. What follows now is not background music. It is a precisely calibrated Pleiadian sound transmission, carrying the 741 Hz light codes specific to what opened in your throat gateway during this calibration. Do not analyze it. Do not listen to it with your mind. Receive it with the corridor that just opened. Stay present. Let the frequencies complete what words began. I will be in the field with you.